Test, test. Hey, folks, how's it going? It's Wednesday and we had a raid by Cubes. How's it going, Cubes? Thank you for the raid. Hi, hi. Hey, guys. Good to see you. I was lurking your stream earlier, Cubes. Look like you're having a bit of fun with 7 Days to Die. Didn't quite see how far you got, but that's awesome. So you're alive as I was finishing stream. Bonus. How was your stream? Seemed like you're having a good time. And welcome all the raiders, anyone that's come over from Cube Stream. Thanks for lurking, no probs. I very rarely get to watch anyone's streams these days. So if I can lurk, that's about the best I can do. Pretty fun, intense a lot of the time. Ooh, I've never played 7 Days to Die. I own a copy of it on Steam. I've never actually played it, but I know a lot of people that have. And yeah, it's the intensity kind of fun is good. Is kind of a good level. Honestly, that's fair. I do the same. Yeah, at one stage, like I used to spend most of my online life just watching streams, making new friends. But I'm out of the house more than I'm in front of a computer, which is good. It's good for your mental health to do so, but it means I don't get to connect with people like in the same kind of spaces as I used to. Honestly, if I do the same, but yeah, it's hard to do so these days. Like when I first started streaming, I started streaming on a platform called Mixer. Well, it was Beam, and then Microsoft bought it and called it Mixer. And plenty of time to kind of talk to different people. You get used to the same people, but since permanently moving to Twitch, it's harder. You got a bigger pool of people, harder to make connections and keep up to date. Most time I'm so busy, can't really hang out or be too active. Yeah, that's fair. No, I would love to spend time, but I say the time that I'm in front of my computer, I'm streaming in the evenings, and during the day I'm at work in front of a computer. So it's like, do I want to spend my evenings in front of a screen when I get paid to do it for 8 hours a day? So it's becomes quite. You just want to break from it, don't you? Hey Lisa, how's it going? All those cool emotes. Hasn't broken this time. Let's see how long the bot goes before it breaks. But it's good to see you though, Cubes. I'm glad you're able to stop in, regardless of how long you can stay. I'm glad you had a good stream as well. But yeah, I do see you go live and try and drop in when I can. I sell emotes. Now, if you actually sold emotes, Lisa, that'd be the best emotes. Oh no. Yeah, I enjoy being out of the house, but sometimes it's just nicer to relax, not have any kind of expectations on you. Like if I get tired, I can just go click and I'm done. When you're out of the house, you go, I'm tired, need to get home, need to make excuses. So there's fors and against this. But I really enjoy being able to talk to you guys and stream things I'm enjoying at the same time. In which case, let's swap over to the main screen. You have a look at the game. Thank you, of course, Lisa. I do love all your emotes. If I were to ever decide to go affiliate, I'd definitely hit you up for emotes. But no chance of that, man. I don't like the contracts with Twitch. And I don't like the expectations of having to do so much to actually earn the money, and it's like, I'd rather go my own way. Epic. Epic indeed. Yeah, although if I could choose, I would stream from an office or something. The mindset of working in the same place I sleep stuff with. Oh yeah. Like, my pillow is literally here. Like, I sleep where I'm sat, but horizontally. So yeah, I do have a desk in the house, but it's a shared space, so I can't stream from there. I can game, I can do other things, but I can't stream from there. So if I'm streaming, I'm here, and if I'm relaxing, I might as well relax on a nice bed and watch something. But fortunately, I have a nice, huge desk at my office at work, and that's quite nice. But yeah, I couldn't sit here and work, but I can't stream in my office space in the house because yeah, there's too many things going on behind me. I'd have to have like a little sound booth, so it's unfortunate. But until I get I get a bigger space of my own, which I can then have a proper streamer desk with all the RGBs rather than just the LEDs behind me. I'm quite happy I've done a small upgrade. It's probably hard to tell from your point of view, but I've got a new microphone stand, and it's one of those kind of spring-loaded lever things. So it's far better than a bendy gooseneck that I was holding my mic on, because the gooseneck was just not handling the constant movement. I have reused the gooseneck for the mic of the camera though, so the camera is now on my gooseneck, and that's got it bent around because I don't have to move the camera. The camera's always there. The microphone I want to push away because this space here is literally the size of my bed, and it's in the way. So I need to be able to move the microphone, and certain things don't like being moved too much. So yeah, I upgraded to a little springy arm thing. It's quite cool. I'm happy with it. Been doing a little bit of work on the game off stream, just little things, what I think about them. And as anyone who codes or does any kind of development will know that time away from a project is usually a good time to think about things, and you can come back at your own pace and add things. So I've added a graphic for this little slider now. I need to improve it. It's square. I don't want it square. I want it rounded like this. So I need to go back into Photoshop and round it off, make it look a bit nicer. And I've changed some of the background stuff to make it more kind of global and universal as opposed to kind of spaghetti. Nice. What have you been working on? So yeah, I say it goes just the one graphical thing, but let's go to scripts. Oh, excuse me, bit of a tickly cough there. Where am I going? Scripts. Yeah. So I realised I'm storing a lot of game values actually in the UI, and that's not a good practice. You shouldn't be storing information on the UI. The UI is supposed to show information, not store it. So I've done a little bit of changing around. I've made a scriptable object, and as you can probably see in the top here, if it's clear enough, the values of the game are actually stored in there. So I've got how many things you've hit, how many you need to hit, how many minutes have passed, how many seconds. So that's now being stored here, which I should have done to start with, but I didn't. When I started making this game, I just didn't know anything about Unity. So I've redone that. There's a few things that are broken because of this. So I need to kind of go back and fix those. I'm trying to draw back some of the not so well made pieces and redo them, because I would like it to be as solid as possible before I start adding more content, as I've said before. Human! Hey Jeffrey, how's it going? Good to see you. Hope you've been keeping well. I hope everyone's been keeping well. We're halfway through the week. We've got it to Wednesday. So it's if it's not been a good week, we've only got a couple of days left. But it has been a good week. Hopefully it continues for 2 more days. I'm kind of in the middle about my week. It could be better, could be a lot worse. I'm dealing with it, I suppose. But yeah, I want to update this graphic a little bit. I put like a little rope. I want to like smooth that off maybe. Because that is one image. And I just got a semi-transparent coloured overlay. And I would like this to be not transparent. I don't know how we change that. Let's go back into there because it's a handle. And I've made it not transparent, but it is transparent. You can see it down here is transparent. And so even at its maximum opacity, it is still transparent. And I don't want to make it any other colour really. There might be something I'm missing. Maskable. Definitely don't want it to be a ray cast target because we're not casting any rays onto there. Let's get a little bit of music on because I will turn off the in-game music. I don't want to replace the in-game music because it was a free loop that I got as part of a bundle pack. It kind of fits the theme, but I want it to probably sound a little bit better. Don't want anything too relaxing. Positive lo-fi chill study music. Piano music. Maybe a bit of piano music. How about that thing's about? Yes, that's just about in the background there. Let's get all my things back on the screen. I don't need that preview. Thank you. Right. Canvas renderer. Transparent mesh. Is that the one? Cold transparent mesh. No. Definitely want it showing. I wonder if there's a way to actually make it not as transparent. Material, because we got the basically using the rock. I got like a still image of the rock there. I thought it'd be quite nice to see the rock moving up and down as the power bar. But I don't want it to be transparent. I might need to do a lookup on how that's applied. But I can see that it's, the preview down the bottom right here is transparent. That might just be, no, it might just be the way it is. But simple, sliced, tiled, fill. Clockwise. Okay, you can do like a pie chart. That's an interesting thing to know. I think we can use right now. Radial. Ah, interesting. Tiled. No, simple. Just simple. Use sprite mesh. Preserve aspect. No, that doesn't change anything. Okay, I might have to Google that one. It's not a major thing. I'd just like it to be sort of fully visible, because at the moment you can see the divide between the green and the red. I just want to hide that behind that sprite. So there is probably a method of doing that, but we won't worry about that for the moment. Let's fix the. I want to fix the time counter that I seem to have broken off stream. And I want to change this where it says level completed at the top here into stylized, and the same with the time and the hits, make that stylized. I do have Photoshop open here, so this is the graphic I use for the back of that. And if I could do with just smoothing off the corners of this, I suppose. So I'm getting some transparency in there, which I'll do on this slide. I'm not sure what the easiest way to do that, whether it's a mask apply to it. Can I do a blend option? Not seeing anything obvious. Oh, we can do a bit of a... Let's not so much that. We just want to... I suppose we want to put a mask over it, really, don't we? Probably something along those lines. Let's layer via copy. That's probably an easy way of doing this, but we're going to do it this way. Something like that. It doesn't matter because this won't be seen by the cool. That kind of works for me. Not quite, probably about here. So my skills on any of these programs are quite limited, but I kind of know enough to get me through things. Gonna have to do for the but I'll try to come hang out later. Have a good stream. Thank you for dropping by, Qs. Thank you very much for the raid. Hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Awesome. If not, I hope you keep well, and I'll see you next time. Yeah, I'd say that works quite nicely. Let's add the rope back on. Now the rope itself could probably do with smoothing it off. I could probably do this manually, I suppose. Just yeah, that looks better enough for now. It's just something to give it a bit more personality. We'll save the project, export that as a new PNG. Let's drop that into Unity. Let's label that as a 2D UI element. Let's go back to the power meter. And we'll replace it with the curved one. There we go. And probably could do with doing the same drop shadow effect that the buttons have. But let's give that a save. And play the game and see what we get. See how it looks. It's taking a while to load everything back in again. Hold on, I'm holding on, Unity. Completing domain. There we go. I want to change these as well, the background sound effects and all that, so I need to do something for that. Probably need to make the color overlay a little bit more a little bit more. We just want it as slight. Let's make that down to 80, and do that same for the background. Let's put that down to 80. We just want to give it the little colour staining, I suppose, so it's just so the player can see the difference. Yeah, that'll probably do for now. I still like that that rock sprite to be more solid rather than transparent that it is. But I'm happy with that for now. Let's see, I'd like to do a drop shadow on the probably do an outline. Let's combine these into one slide. Merge layers into one. Outer glow. Everything doesn't include the outer part of it. Probably just need to shave a little bit off the edge there so it gets a nice edge there. So let's cancel that for the moment. You only need to be about a pixel, I'd say. I wonder if I could do something clever here. Canvas. So that's 97. If I make that 95. But then put it back up to 97. Ah, kept the detail in it. Kind of want it to... I suppose I could crop to it, couldn't I? So, pixels, 95. Image crop. Image canvas. Nice. Okay, so that gives me a... It's not quite so smooth on the edges, but... Any of the new announced bands you're excited about? I'm excited about Crossfaith. Quite a fan of Crossfaith, especially the one song of theirs which is a cover of the Prodigy. I like that they did that. But I do generally like Crossfaith. They've got a good sound. Yes, Omen. It's nice. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing them. Let's bring that up actually. So there was at least another one in there. AWOL Nation. I think that would be quite fun to see. I can't remember if anyone else of the newer announced bands. There's a few that I would go and see. I can't remember who's been announced otherwise. But out of the ones that were announced this week, definitely Crossfaith and AWOL Nation. But there's so many bands on that poster that I want to go and see. I've already updated the app because Download Festival have an app. And you can kind of like click favourite on all your bands that you want to see. And when they have the time, the actual performance times released, you can get it to just make you a schedule. Go, okay, this band's playing at this time on this stage. And you can just have your own personalised band schedule. So that'd be quite useful. Let's see how that looks. We'll save the project and export it once more. Making some graphics, yeah. I'll update the update that slider bar. So it kind of looks a bit more like the rest of the UI. Right, so at the moment it hasn't got like a nice black outline to it. So made this little change here. Let's see how much of a difference this does. Right, let's drag that in there. The drop shadow is a bit too overpowering on that. Okay, let's remove the drop shadow. Let's take that off. The ideal scenario, I suppose, I would have more space around the image. Let's save over that one. Yes. It does mean I can just now hit re-import. No? Okay, if I could just hit re-import on that. Refresh. Okay. So I'll change it back to this one. Delete that one. bring back in the new one. Change that to UI. What's that there? It's like a little speck. Is there a speck on the actual? I can't see a speck on there. It looks like a speck there. Anyway, we'll save that, give that a quick play. And this, I could do so much more with the graphics, but I want to get the game functional. Yeah, it's definitely needs a little bit more work in there, but it's got little spots down there. That's okay. We'll sort that another time. How's that looking 4K? Mobile. I reckon this is what a mobile would look like. Yeah, you can just about see it there. It's like tiny little. There must have been a single pixel down here. Then when I applied the outer glow to it, so I might have to dial back the outer glow slightly. But you can see it on the other buttons here, where it's got very sharp edges rather than like a proper gradient of the colour. So I'd probably have to go back and re-edit all of these if I want to be absolutely sort of sure about it, because you can see how sharp the edges are, because the graphic only has so much space around it. Let's put back to HD. Okay, so we'll forget about the graphics for now. But what I would like to do is fix the timer, because there's more graphics I need to do. As I say, I need to have a new level complete thing, I need to have time, I need to have hits, and probably have like a wooden board. I can probably have a wooden board that has time and hits on it as one graphic, and then just have the numbers overlaying that. That kind of makes sense to me. And just have it as a, because you got timer and you got score. It's two separate things there. But I should probably try and combine those into one, like upper left graphic or something, or progress block or something like that. But the main thing is it's the code as to when the game progresses that I want to check. Oh, good news as well as part of the art project though. I did a little bit of research, and I think I have worked out how to do 2D animations now. At least in part. It's like painfully simple, like so simple. Epic. Beer, nice. Always like a beer. Haven't actually got a beer, but I've got some sparkling water. But it's you have all the individual frames as pictures, as sprites, and you have it down the bottom here. Like if all of these down here were the individual frames of the animation, I would can I actually? Yeah, I would select all of these no. Yeah, I'll select all of these and go, that's all the frames, and I'll then drag these into the main window. And it goes, oh, would you like to make an animation? What name would you like to give the animation? You just give it a name and you have an animation. And it's pretty much that simple. Then obviously the coding is to say when you show the animation and everything else. But as far as making the animation, that's all you do. Unity goes, well, if you're dragging a load of pictures into the main screen at the same time, it makes an animation in sequence of the pictures. So ideally you'd label it as 01, 02, 03, 04, or as many as they are, so they stay in the order down the bottom here. So when you drag them into the main window, you drag them in the order you want them to play. You can arrange them afterwards, but to make life simple, and you either do that as individual images, or you do a sprite sheet, which is like Stardew Valley has sprite sheets, which you have one picture, and you tell it that you want to slice that one picture into different parts, and then in Unity you open up the sprite sheet, so you can kind of see these little arrows here, but each of these only has one image. When you open it, as one image. But a sprite sheet, you open it, and has a lot of images inside. So you open it and then you select all the little parts of the image and drag those in instead. So it might be one image file, but it is a sprite sheet of lots of little images on the same picture. And you can just drag them in that way. So either you make it as a sprite sheet or individual frames. And you can turn video into sprite sheets using online tools. And then you just bring it into Unity and tell Unity how many sprites are on that sprite sheet, and it will just slice it up for you. So there's a couple of ways, but to actually get the animation, you drag it into it. You're like, oh, how stupidly simple. But yeah, when we get a chance to look at it, so this Saturday might be too busy, but I might have to look at timings. So I was hoping to get some stuff done in the morning, but it might have to wait until the afternoon. In which case there won't be time to work on the art project. It is the way it goes. Right. So my morning will be free, so I can at least chill in the morning. But in the afternoon, probably not so. But no one wants to be awake in the mornings, understandably. It's a time to rest, especially on Saturdays. Let's get the code open. There's the code. I actually updated my Visual Studio to the latest version. So now it's got all the extra fancy things, which I'm very happy about. So you can actually see all my code files on the right hand side here. All the scripts. So I can just open those as I need them. So score, is it score? Might be score. Or is it game values? Let's open that one. Dan bots coming in here. Might have to change my settings. Did it automatically clear the whole Twitch chat? It's a bit obsessive, that. I don't know. It says auto moderate. So get timer text, that's fine. It's got score holder, so this is, so it is a score script. So update score fall counter. Okay, no, that's about falling. Update score. Check win. Yay, all the emotes. Timer. There's timer UI there. Stop timer. So if win, stop timer. So it should be stopping and not restarting. Ah, level time, that's what I want. Just scaring off potential bots. Yeah. I'd be scared with all those pandas. Start timer. Let's put a little thing here that says the time is started, time is stopped. So debug .log timer started. And I need an extra line there. Stopped. Now I just want to make sure that the timer is stopping when the game is complete. So I don't think it's doing that. Scripts, game values. Cool, hit save and we'll play the game here. And we'll see these numbers changing up here. Cool, you've got the timer in seconds. Yay, more pandas. I do love the bot, sort of, I think it's Pixel Chat that does all the emotes across the screen. It's been a while since I set it up. I'd say you non-affiliates should at least get follow emotes. You know? Oh yeah. So that'd be fun just to get a follow emotes, and sort of then, if you want sub emotes, then sort of sign up. But then I suppose it's an incentive for you to sign up to the affiliate program. So that, hey, sort of like partnership with us. Make us some money, we'll give you emotes. Yes. Got the eyes. No, it would be fun to have emotes, but the thing is, I can have emotes in my Discord right now, and I don't even have emotes in my Discord. So If I were to have emotes, I would already have some in my Discord. But yeah, I don't even have Discord emotes. Oh, we have 3 more left to get to complete the level. So this idea I actually got from helping work on the art project. I went, that makes perfect sense to do on mine. I wonder now. You ever use contact lenses? Yeah, I used to. I used to wear them quite often. Mainly for any time that glasses would get in the way. Not merely for aesthetic purposes. Not because I hated wearing glasses, but for, well, glasses in this situation would be quite awkward, so contact lenses would be better. But then saying that, I did, when I was younger, wear contact lenses for like special occasions. Like if I wanted to go out, I'll dress up smart, I'll put contact lenses in so I could sort of not have to wear glasses. And it was more kind of a style choice to go, well, so I kind of thought like the glasses didn't look smart, so I wanted to wear contact lenses so I looked smarter. And then it's like visually, not like mentally smarter. But then as I've got older, I go, well, the glasses are kind of part of who I am. I have to wear glasses. And contacts I can only wear for so many hours before my eyes get extremely dry and painful. So that, yeah, it's a lot more hassle than just to put glasses on my face. I'm happy with glasses, especially these new ones. I'm not bothered about them. The time in seconds suddenly launches into minus figures. Why does that happen? I do have a pair of contact lenses that I can... value cannot be null. Time has started, time has started, time has stopped. Something there is not liking. Time has stopped. Parameter unity self. Serialized property, parent property. I don't know what that's referring to. No, I've not worn contact lenses for a while. I think it was probably about 3 years ago the last time I wore contact lenses. And that was mainly when I was playing Captain Hook on stage. Because Captain Hook had an eye patch, and you can't really wear an eye patch and glasses. So I ended up putting my contact lenses in, so I could wear the eye patch. Now, there was a small plot device that meant I didn't have to wear the eye patch for the rest of the performance. It was only for like first 5 minutes, And then Tinkerbell comes along, casts like a little magic spell that fixes my eyes, and I don't have to wear an eye patch. And that's mainly because the eye patch was a bit awkward to try and work with, and it's just easier not having to wear the eye patch. So yeah, I had to wear an eye patch for about 5 minutes of the performance at the start, and after that, I just had contacts, of course, with both eyes. But it did allow me to have like proper eye makeup, so I did like the eyeliner, really kind of made my eyes look quite imposing, because the pirates look kind of aggressive and scary, and so wearing glasses kind of takes away from that effect because you're kind of hiding some of the eye. So dressing as a pirate definitely works better with contact lenses. As you know, I can't see very far without my glasses, so it's not like, yeah, I just won't wear my glasses. Well, I can't see if I don't. So that's it's certainly certainly something I would do again. I'm wondering where I'm missing something here. Smoke holder. So I wonder what's not been set. So it's argument null exception value cannot be null. So it's pulling a null from somewhere. So the timer has game values, that's fine. Score. There's not even any code attached to that. Game controls. Rotate left, rotate right. Power meter. Then level UI, that's all fine. Level complete. Timer holder, that's fine. None of those actually have any issues. No code attached to them. See it? The amount of things that are attached to just the rock, the thing that gets thrown, there's so many things that are attached to it that shouldn't be attached to it. But it's just the way I've built it. That these shouldn't be on the rock, these should be on the trebuchet, for instance. Like the graphics, oh thank you. So yeah, graphics aren't my specialty, but I do like to do little bits. As I say, I used to do Used to play around with Photoshop just for fun. So I can do these things, and probably if I spend a bit more time I could certainly do more. But yeah, there's so many things here shouldn't be applied to the rock. You know, the trebuchet controller, for instance, like the trebuchet is attached to the rock. That yeah, like the rock should be attached to the trebuchet, not the trebuchet attached to the rock. It shouldn't be that way around, but that's the way I built it. Like, the rock should just be a thing, and it should have its own rules that when it does a thing, it hits something or bounces, whatever. It has its own rules. It shouldn't be, yeah. But I could probably rebuild this. I want to rebuild the rock system anyway, because I feel that's quite messy. So look at the castle holder again. Castle holder probably got things in it that's missing. So you got the castle. So the castle holder's fine. Like, this is kind of the right way of doing things. I have a thing that deals with everything to do with the castle, and inside that is the castle and the rubble when it pops up. So I did that fine. The castle itself is its own thing, and all that does is just have the individual pieces, but then you've got grids. You got the grids, like the hitting grids. I just register when it's been hit by the rock, so that's its own thing. That's fine. That's its own thing. So I'm happy with the castle there. The bushes, trees, that's all fine. Rubble spawner as the brick holder, so that just spawns the bricks, that's fine. Score holder. There's nothing else in castle here, that's just... So the score holder should be slightly different. I'm not sure what is... So value cannot be null. Unity self. I don't fully understand why the nulls are coming in. So timer, let's go back to this. So where's the timer gets stopped after this? So there's nulls and then the timer stops. So there's only one time that the timer gets called. Well, one place the timer gets called to be stopped is in here. And that's when win is true. Yay, awesome emotes. So when castle fall has been called, it grabs the castle, the whole castle object holder. It checks whether a true or a false has been given to the castle fall. If it is true, then it checks if we have not won yet. So if we haven't won yet, or we haven't recorded that we won yet, I should say, because if we've hit everything and that's true, then we have won. So if we've not recorded that we have won, say we have now won by saying win yes no is true, stop the timer, so we need to grab the timer, stop the timer, hide the time in the top left, hide the score in the top left, and then spawn the smoke. Well, grab the smoke, tell the smoke to start smoking, then start the counter of 300 frames. After 300 frames, then we want to see the castle falls. But there's something that has a null, so it might be anything that runs just before stop timer. So level timer, so stop timer can't have anything. That is literally doing one thing, setting it to false, and that false comes to here. Go, if it's true, then keep updating the timer, but if it's false, we want to keep we don't want to update the timer anymore. So that's doing that. There's nothing fancy about that. Update timer is just putting time in seconds. And start times in there. So that should be fine. I can't see any problems with that. Maybe this? Get time text. So we could probably hide that because we're not really using that anymore. There we are. Sorry, there we are updating. Yeah, we're updating the time in the top corner. But we're stopped. That's not working. Cool. So it might be grabbing the time. So timer UI, which is passed at the top there. So all we're doing is grabbing a timer UI and then immediately running stop. So to grab the timer UI, let's minimize that. That's in score holder. So there's timer UI, and we're putting in the timer. And the timer is in here. So just grabbing this object. This object has nothing. Got the timer code in there. And got the gamer values. Game values in there. Timer UI timer. So yeah, that's putting in the UI there, of course. So its references itself. Does, because level timer this game feels very near to finish. Yes. Yeah, I think once I've worked out these little things, and I'm happy that level 1 works, because I don't want to make any more levels until all these little things are done. So the game is effectively finished now, but it just needs 1 or 2 little things to say, well, this is something I can release. There's a lot of, the graphics need changing a little bit. But that's just graphics. That's literally making stuff in Photoshop and dragging it in. So that's not a major thing. There's things like this this timer not really updating, and I can do things like add a leaderboard in there, and stuff like that. And I could go as far as making all the projectile options unlockable, which I've set the foundation for. I have a tick box to say whether they are locked or unlocked. So I could make a system where you do something which unlocks them, whether you hit a certain thing, that ticks the box and then it becomes unlocked. I could do with looking up how you save, like how do you save a file, like, because you might want to play it a little bit, unlock some things, and then come back later and unlock more things, but you can't do that if it doesn't save. So I need to look up that process. That's one thing I don't know yet. So that would be quite nice. If there's going to be progress in the game, it needs to be progress that you can save. But as far as the general kind of function of the game, it's there. It's just making sure all these little things like this work properly. But I think this is fine. Now I'm a level timer. So I suppose really this should be its own thing. Like a lot of this code, like the timer shouldn't be part of, because it's running in the UI. And it should really have a timer down here, I suppose, because we've got a score holder, which does things with the score. But I should really have a timer holder down here. Do you know the program Caught in the Act Unfaithful? No, I'm not aware. I've got a guess of what it's probably like. It's amazing. Is it very similar to Catfish, where you kind of they catch people doing things? It's the most ghetto thing ever. Is it like setting people up to catch them if they're being unfaithful? It's typical what they refer to as trash TV. Not say trash TV is bad, but it's kind of like just the simple kind of society being displayed on TV programs. No, not like Catfish. People come to some black lady that talks stereotypically ghetto to find out if their partner cheats. She will investigate, and of course, they always do. And then they fight and scream. Nice. Yeah, I remember there's a program, American chat show. Well, not really chat. American show, was it Jerry Springer? There's similar. Lots of shows similar. There's like Dr. Phil and all this, and they're like this like host gets people on and they talk about things, and then it all erupts in screaming. But yeah, I remember Jerry Springer being one of the type of shows where it's like studio audience for a stage. They get like they'll get a person on, and then they'll give their side of the story, and say this other person's been bad, and they bring the bad person on. The bad person goes, I'm not bad because of these reasons, and they're the one that's been bad, and then the whole kind of like arguing. And there's ones in the UK very similar to that. What's the one in the UK? They had some controversy. I think someone actually harmed themselves because of the show. They actually sued them for it because it ruined their life, and it's nothing. They didn't do anything wrong. It's just the show made them out to look like they did something wrong. Jeremy Kyle, that's it. Jeremy Kyle in the UK. He's been referred to as a chav beta, because he just gets like low income sort of disadvantages people on the show to kind of make money out of them by getting them to argue and stuff. And these people were very typical chavvy, missing half their teeth, can barely speak English properly, despite living here their entire life. But yeah, it's quite fun to watch those. You think, well, my life is not that bad, I suppose. These people have it a lot worse. It's kind of how it goes. Let's make because we haven't got a timer holder. Let's make a timer holder. empty object, timer holder. I feel this would be better than having it all running in the UI. That feels just dirty to me. It shouldn't be running in the UI. The UI should be sort of part of it. So level timer script doesn't actually need to be on there, does it? Level timer, because it doesn't refer to itself at any point. Timer UI texture. No, I could probably detach that then. So remove component from there. And drag level timer into timer holder. And go game values and then timer goes into that. And that should still work, but it's not running on the UI. The UI is just being a UI. Which I know you can run things on the UI, which I have been, but having the holder means it kind of it's being handled its own thing. This episode, someone cheated with her boyfriend's twin brother. Oh, I suppose I can make excuses about that, couldn't I? Well, I thought he was the same person, or all this. I mean, she did have a type. Oh yeah, you certainly find these things out. The timer UI. So probably don't need timer UI anymore because we set active. So score UI, timer UI. These things would change, but I actually changed the way they work as well. So probably timer level timer won't be coming from the timer UI anymore. So we got score UI, level end UI, timer UI. Let's do a public game object. Timer holder. Save that. This music's definitely looping. Not very relaxing when it suddenly stops abruptly and starts playing again. Let's make sure there's no code attached to that UI. There's no code attached to that. So you've got score holder. I suppose the timer shouldn't even be in there. I should probably separate the timer really. Because it's all to do with score and score. So I suppose this section here is timer holder. So anywhere timer UI is used, but is calling the There we go. So it calls the code from timer holder and then stops it. But then the timer UI is made set active false. So I could probably make a function that I call that does those 3 lines. It's just kind of like stop and hide, I suppose, stop and hide timer. And then that will just stop the timer and hide the UI at the same time. Although I suppose if you say you don't necessarily need to see the timer unless it's running, you could make the assumption that only show the timer when it is running. And then you just literally go stop timer. Is timer UI actually used otherwise? Oh, yeah, we need to use it here as well. So timer holder is down here. So we're grabbing the component from that and we're starting the timer. But yeah, this will be simplified by changing the way it works and just having a something that manages the top part of it. Because the score is its own thing and the timer is its own thing, but the timer's in the score. And I know the two things are linked, but I could do with having one thing that manages both of them. That is kind of a parent, but individually they only manage the score or the timer. I think I'll slowly kind of clean this mess up. Now I know what I want from this. I can go, well, this is going to be the better way of doing it. Like this, for instance, here, rather than going text, it will be just running a function where I just pass in what I've hit and what needs to be hit. So things like smoke holder and castle smoke should really be part of the castle. So where's castle? Yeah, because the smoke holder should be in part of the castle there, because the smoke is actually... Smoke is in here. Where is the smoke? Oh, smoke holder's there. So the smoke holder's a completely separate thing. So I suppose because it is separate, but it should be really part of the whole castle process. So when the castle's falling, it then triggers the smoke. Because you've got the rebel spawner down here. So the smoke holder should be part of the castle, because it's part of the whole process. But the castle only has the castle and the rebel spawner in there. But it should have the smoke spawner as well. So I ideally need to move that into there. Be right back, Aussie Food Time Dog Walking, okie dokie. I'll see you shortly. Yeah. That's how we kind of untangle this, because we reevaluate where things are actually associated. Like we don't need the castle holder. And we don't need the... Well, we need the castle holder, I suppose. Or we just have the game end. The game end should have all these things in it. Where's game end? Do I have a game end on mine? I don't have a game end. That's probably what I need. I probably need to have a game end object, which is constantly checking the conditions, and that's when it triggers it off. Because basically everything's talking to everything. And that's where it becomes messy. But you just have one thing as a manager, as like the boss going, right, what you up to? What you up to? Okay, because they're up to this, you do this. And go, okay, they finished that? Okay, you finish this as well. Sort of end of level. Rather than individual things talking to each other to tell each other what's going on. Which can work. But there's no hierarchy. There needs to be a hierarchy in place. And commands need to be passed down the hierarchy, not between things. So I think we've got level ends, and that's only really, it's just change. It's more like level end UI at that point. It's not. Because the castle's not in there. Let's open it anyway, just double check. So it's got the level complete text, time complete text, time holder. Time holder's got time display. Yeah, so that's basically just showing and hiding stuff. That's not functionally doing anything. So this is, because this is something I've done more recently. So where's level end actually attached? Is it actually in the UI? Again, yeah, the UI is running stuff. So that should be its own, should be split out to its own thing. Let's tie that beard up a little bit so we've got the little swingy thing. Yeah, so we should have a series of holders at the very least. The canvas in itself is a holder that just holds all the UI. In theory, the UI should just literally be UI. Like, it calls functions, it doesn't run them. It doesn't actually have any code, but yeah, a lot of these things actually have code attached to them. I can understand certain things like time display, because that's an object that kind of functions based on a series of sprites, but that's only really determining what it shows and what it doesn't show. So that makes sense. That's purely working within itself. So that's got a good hierarchy to it. Same with that. Same with that. So yeah. So that's just attaching things to that. That's where even these can probably come back to a controller. That's what the terminology is, controller. I need a controller that manages these things and not individual things taking them on themselves. Like if it's a UI thing, like the play a game button is a child of level end, so that makes sense. So anything that are just UI things that are just being turned on and off, that's fine. Which I think most of this is, isn't it? It's just being turned on and off. So that's kind of fine, I suppose. Yeah, it's not that bad. And having that in there means it can trigger things off. So yeah, the score. Yeah, so that just pulls in that level end thing and just then show UI. Yeah, so that makes sense. So that's good. That's a good hierarchy there. But yeah, it shouldn't really be the score managing this. Just check win happens here. I suppose score is kind of sitting in place for the game end conditions. Let's just play it, see if I've broken anything. Still don't know why the counter goes crazy. Cause there is any. So this is where it determines whether the timer increases or not. Level timer. So it starts timer. Updates, does it calculations, gets time. Yes, that just returns a piece of text. And that is just values, so it's not actually waiting anything there. So I'll remove those for now. I know I don't need those for the time being. But yeah, I definitely need to pull the score out so it's only handling score things. Because there should be something that is just looking at the score and determining whether the game's been complete or not. Seems what would be the worth keeping an eye on. The timer stops there. Ah. So I hit stop on the timer. It doesn't actually stop the time because the time is ever going anyway. It just stops updating the time. But then that should apply to the end bit anyway. Now, where's the one I'm missing? It's usually on that join between the two that's gets missed out. Okay, let's do it this way. Cheat a little. Oh, of course it re-updates. Can't let me cheat. Suppose what I can do though. There it is. Not sure where it was, but that's one way to deal with it. All I know is why it's still... Okay, so it didn't bug out this time. It starts the timer twice, which is not a big deal, but there's still kind of a bug there. It goes 6:0 dash. So I've only got a minus. Okay. So we're going to have to have a look at where it's calling. Let's clear that. Where it's calling that function then. So get time text. So that's the level timer and score. So update timer. So that's where it updates to get it, which is fine. Score though is when it puts it into the UI. So I wonder if check win's been constantly being run then. Set time sprites. Let's hide all that because that just becomes confusing. So set time only gets run once. That's fine. Well, only gets called once. Set time sprites only gets called in one place, which is here. So I wonder if I go string time text equals, and we'll drop that into here. And we'll just say we're returning time text. It's a little bit unnecessary, but I wonder if this is where this comes in. And so we got minus equals the time minutes times 60. So just taking the time in minutes away. Debug.log, and we can actually log time text now. I reckon this is where the problems occur. Time in seconds. So flow time in minutes. So I reckon this is getting called multiple times. Of course, the time in minutes isn't changing, but it's forever taking it away, quite possibly. I'm guessing that's the problem. I reckon this is being called, continue to being called after the game's finished. It should only be called once the game level's been complete, calls it. That's it. So I think this check win's been called multiple times. So fixed update. Yeah, so it's been checked every frame. It is fine, but if all hit. I'm back. Welcome back. How much was the Mac you were looking at? It was about 680 second hand. I can't remember what the actual Mac was. I just went, oh, they've got Macs here. But if it's still there next time I go in and have a look, you know, that they pretty much changed their entire stock because they're all second hand stuff. So it might not even be there. But oh, they've got a couple of Macs. I thought that's not a bad price. You remember specs? No, it was the very least. I think was it a 512 gig SSD. Oh, it's back. Welcome back, Lisa. I think 16 gig of RAM. Can't remember what the processor was. I thought, okay, that will be enough for me to do what I want to do. But I haven't got that money right now. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. Intel newer Apple chip is big difference. Yeah, it might have been an Intel. I don't know how old the Mac was. It looked pretty good condition though. But yeah, if it's still there next time I go in, then I'll write some stuff down. See how good it is. Set time sprites. Level end. So level end should really. Is it level end? So I'm pretty confident that that's not the problem. That's fine. I think it's score. So level end. So that's fine. That sort of, this doesn't know if it's been called or not effectively, and I don't want to control it here. So the problem is occurring. Because this condition is met, but this is constantly being called. So castle fall Then castle fall only happens once. So in theory, I could probably move everything into castle fall, but again that's putting all that work onto one function. But I suppose for now, that's hiding that, so that should really happen at one go. So effectively that's kind of like, well, if it's check win if that, then run this below. So all hits that, so we don't actually. So if all hit, so that should go there really. Level ends. So move that out there. So we're grabbing things before we need them. So put them all into there. So we're just grabbing components that we can use. So once we win, we stop the timer. We don't need this if in there anymore. Let's push that back. Do I even have that control? It appears to be on there. Was the laptop or desktop? It was a laptop. It was a MacBook. Very nice looking MacBook. Cool. Yeah, like a silver. Perfect for DJing. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, yeah, if I got that, I could probably DJ with that, and I wouldn't have all these problems I'm having with my Windows laptop right now. And if I wanted to do a bit of music with it, like music production, could do. So I'm thinking about buying a new laptop at some point. I thought, well, I could even just go for a Mac. Let's go set end timer. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I suppose I can grab that as a. So we're grabbing all these things. Now the next question is, because these things aren't really changing, we're just grabbing them. C level timer level end. Whether they just become a thing I grab, because it's going to be grabbing them constantly. If I just put them up here. So I'm not constantly having to grab them each time. Be more efficient on the whole process. course it needs to then assign those each time. Okay. Yeah. Whoops. Castle holder, let's get component. This castle holder, probably need to do that on the start, maybe. Let's do it here. Let's put this. Let's cut them again. Put it in start. And go private. Actually make that called castle. Makes more sense. So this means I can just keep referring to them over and over in a loop. I'm not having to create them each time. Oops. So even though the game's not big, if this game became bigger, doing this would take a lot of memory up. So doing it this way means I'm only grabbing it once, holding it once, then not making it and getting rid of it each time. Put this in with this as well. Go back up to start. Private castle smoke is castle smoke. Rather than CS down here, there's a CS. So I'm not creating anything here, I'm just using what I've already got. The same goes for here, really. That's just grabbing all those components. Probably need to give that a better name, really. Score text. Oh, I'm actually calling that twice there. So text score and score text. I can just use the same thing there. So this is where it's useful because I can actually realise I'm doing a bit more processing than I need to. So we've got hit there and then hit down there as well. Which means I don't actually need score text. One less thing created. Awesome. So this bit I do need because I'm constantly updating it. That's fine. I shouldn't have to create anything. I'm just maybe here. So level timer. There we go, level timer, because that's only been created once. Level timer. So in theory then, that should fix the issue with it constantly calculating, because it only runs once when the game is completed and then resets. Let's save that. Give us a quick test and then we'll wrap the stream up. Oh, didn't like something here. Not such an instance of an object. Okay, what have I done? Not sure what I've done though. Okay, let's run it again, see if it. Let's pay attention to it. Text score. So is it wanting me to actually set it at that point? It's a bit odd. Okay. Looks like it doesn't like me having it globally. It's a bit weird. So all hit is fine. So level timer. Level end. So text score, it wants to have set text score. Level timer, okay. Slowly go now. Slightly confused that I'm having to re-establish a set to that. Maybe it's, yeah. Maybe the instance when it calls this, it is it's not actually set. Maybe it has to be public. I don't know. Not a major deal. This means I have to guarantee I kind of set it in the individual things. Okay, let's do a little bit of cheating to get Be quicker to do it this way. Play it properly. It's a little bit quicker in some ways. So when you get to the last few. It's got 6 slots for different crack graphics currently in the game. I'm not sure if I'm using all of those. I have to check to see what my actual... Hey, Dealer, how's it going? It's good to see you. Hope you've been keeping well. Just doing some final testing before we log off tonight. Twitch app forgot to notify me of the stream. Oh no. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, those cool pentagram emotes. Make sure these are all clicked. Found a Ryzen 7 5800X motherboard and 32 gigs of RAM for 150 quid. Wow, that's a bargain. Where did you manage to find that? I realise I've been clicking the side building. I think it's time to put my 2012 i5 to rest. Oh, it's been doing a good service if it's been going since 2012. I was browsing second-hand PC parts. Oh, found it. That is definitely a bargain there. Good find. Ah, there it is. Boom. It's still got a weird calculation going on, but at least it's not multiplying up. Also 5700 XT for like 110. Nice. Yes, that final calculation I need to check. But at least I know it's not going up crazy amounts now. So is it adding the 0 in? Well, there were hotboxing in there. Yeah, they got hit with so many rocks, they got stoned and went up in smoke. Probably make a secret level where yeah, you're throwing baked goods at a student's house, and once they've received enough baked goods, then it goes up in smoke because they celebrate. So I'm getting some weird calculations here. So it got to 5 minutes 12 seconds. It then reported as 5 minutes, 0 minus 288 seconds. There got some weird calculations going on. Average middle school bathroom during break, yeah. So maybe I need to change what it's looking at then. Ugh, little timer. It's going to stop the time. When did it stop the timer? So timer stopped and then it updated, which is what I wanted to do. So stop the timer, made that to false, that no longer runs, so that's not updating. So time in minutes, time in seconds. The time in seconds is going to be the total amount of seconds. And time in minutes is just how many minutes have passed. But the minutes and seconds are roughly the same, are basically representing the same value. So these represent the same value. One is just in seconds, one is just in minutes. And that's just updating the raw time. The get time text, however, is where the calculation happens. So it's looking at the total time in seconds and the total time in minutes. And to determine how many minutes in seconds is to look at the minutes, times it by 60 to see how many seconds in the total whole minutes that have passed. So look at, if it's 5 minutes have passed, 5 whole minutes have passed, then it's 5 times 60. Take that away from the total amount of seconds that have passed to give you how many seconds over the 5-minute mark, which is 12. So it's 5 minutes and 12 seconds. So let's do a quick bit of math calculator. So 5 times 60. So 5 minutes is 300 seconds. So it'll be 312 seconds had passed. Make a SQL database to hold 2 values. Could do. I basically got where is it? Yeah, I've got my small database here. Basically, holds 4 values: the value it needs to achieve, and the value that the player has achieved, and then total time in whole minutes, total time in whole seconds. 12. So if it's 312 seconds that have passed since I completed the level, and it determined that the amount of seconds over was minus 288. So it took 300 seconds off. It should have taken 300 seconds away, but it seems to have done that. So if I took 300, so minus 300 is 12, minus 300. So it took the minutes off twice. Times hard, make everything be based off frames. Yeah, I suppose I could count the frames and do it that way, but sort of it's counting the seconds. seconds since the game starts. But the calculation is just weird though, because I've counted 312 seconds to complete the level. So I know that value. And yeah, the getting to the value is a bit awkward because you just have to take the time at which it starts and then see how many seconds that have passed since that time. And depending on how many frames you're checking means it could be point something of a second, which is why I've where is it? Yeah, it's why I'm flooring the value. So it's I guess it's a sort of total whole seconds that have passed, not fractions of seconds. I'm not going to turn this into a speedrun type game where you can get point so many seconds completion. So it's time in seconds is not increasing, but it takes this off twice. So is it running? Is it running that twice maybe? Calculate the atomic delay of silicon atoms in the CPU for slow, unprecise time management. That would be quite an interesting thing to try. So why is this? This has been run twice. It's got to be run twice because it's the seconds. That value isn't increasing. That stays at 312 seconds. That value, and that is 300. So it's taking the 300 off, but then it's going around again somehow, rerunning this a second time, and then taking another 300 off. So is it running this twice? So maybe if I put a let's put a debug .log into here and go we won, save that. Close all that up. Let's look at the values. So those values will reset. Okay, let's do one more play test. So if I'm seeing oops, let's change. No, I'll keep that one actually. Make the win function shut down. The program won't run twice, but the player won't see a sticker. Yeah. So you won. Alt F4. So you can see my values are going up here. So when the top value reaches the second value, so first value equals second value, level complete. And then report values 3 and 4. I love piano music in the background. My headache's been barely noticeable. Oh, glad to hear. It's just a relaxing sleep music on YouTube. The sound of the rock is probably not going to help. Let's turn the rock sound off. I do love piano music. Now, rock adds some bass. Yeah, a bit of a geo percussion. Soothes the soul. Yeah, I need to sort of this sound menu I need to kind of work with a bit, because these values are way, like, they're so low, no one's going to ever want them higher, so I need to kind of set the low and high, the min and max values a bit more realistic to what I think a player would want. The minimum, well, minimum's obviously 0, that's fine. Okay, still got a problem there. It says we won, then timer stopped. So that's only running once. Otherwise, I see it say we won twice. But we won, timer stopped. So it's still taking it off twice. It's something I'm going to have to go away and think about. It's 10:30 here now. So I'm going to wrap the stream up here. And I'll think about what is going on. Add a condition to check if the functions have been run as effectively what this is. So this win condition here. But I could do it for setting the timer here. So set time sprites. You want to set that based on the win, but then you want to be able to run it again if the player hits play again. You need to be able to reset. So in theory, this if statement here should be the condition, and it is only running this condition once. So in theory, this bit of code here only runs once, which we've just found. So in theory, this should only run once, and it should only take away the minutes once, but somehow the thing is, that's only running once though, isn't it? Time text. So time text, timer stopped, and then time text is only run once. So this is only run once. So, but if this is only run once, how has that been taken off twice? I'm gonna have to. I'll have a think, and it'll probably come to me when I haven't got the screen switched on. Let's switch over to the main camera. There's gonna be something going on. Could make the function that runs twice have a condition that only makes it run if variable is 0, then play reset. Yeah, but I've kind of already got that though, dear. As I said, I got something that captures that, but I don't know what's running twice at this point, because everything appears to be only running once, and yet the calculation happens twice. So I don't fully understand. Unless it's the timing of the function, so it stops the timer, but the final point of it stopping the timer takes the minutes off after the timer has been stopped, and then runs it once more separately to then give you the final score. So maybe that's what's happening. Maybe it's an ordering issue, maybe. Yeah. I'll have to have a check that out. Girl's so nice, I kissed her twice, C# probably. Yeah. I like my shirt. Oh, thank you. It's an outline of Morty from Rick and Morty in space. But yeah, I'm going to wrap the stream now. I've already gone over half an hour more than I was planning to, because this is I'm so close to kind of cracking that one issue. I pretty much, well, I did a little bit of UI this stream, but most of the stream coding wise has been this one issue. Night, thanks for streaming. Thank you, Dealer. Cool, see you Friday. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you for streaming. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, thank you everyone else who's been here. Epic as always. Good night. Yeah, good night indeed. And thank you, Cubes, for the raid earlier. That was awesome of you. Hope you're doing well. And everyone who's come over and anyone who's been lurking. It's good to see you all. See you Saturday, maybe before. I don't know. I might be busy in the afternoon, but if you're free in the morning before 1 o'clock, maybe. We'll have to see what the timings are. But I think, yeah, probably, yeah, I'm probably gonna be busy after 1 o'clock your time, but not busy before. I'm free between 11 your time and cool. Okay, so maybe we can have a look at 11 my time, so 12 your time. My 10. 10, perfect, yeah. 10 my time, we can do something then. Quite happy with that. I say I'm busy in the afternoon. But yeah, 10 my time would be fine. 11 your time, I'll see you then. But yeah, I'll be back on Friday, doing some more of this. Hopefully I've worked it out. Talk about it Friday, yeah, indeed. But yeah, thank everyone who's been lurking. I see you all in there in my list. You're all awesome. I'm going to get some rest. Hope you do too. And I'll be back on Friday with some more game dev. So I shall see you there. Hope you have a good night. Good night.